Okay, so this is for the second etude of the three, which was, voices. I just think of it as being kind of three voices. It goes into two sometimes, but these are lines that move around that you want to keep track of. And the funny thing is sometimes on the guitar, you're going along and you can't play the next note because of fingering limitations or the various restrictions or, challenges, puzzles that the fingerboard and your fingers present. But there's a lot of places where the note will carry just from the rest of the guitar. There's resonances that it falls. So I love to listen to that and hear what the guitar is playing without me. Now, sometimes that gets in the way, but this is trying to, live with that and enjoy the fact that the resonance of the guitar has its own, sound that's going on. And so listening to those sounds as well as the ones that you're deliberately playing that have a duration and they're fading away. But a lot of this is really notes like fireflies that are just kind of appearing in the air around you. Or I don't know what that you could get. I've seen these things that float over the ocean on weddings in China that just float through the air. So there's globes of light floating through the air, and maybe it was some sort of science fiction show, I don't know, but so there's globes of light that are just floating around in a high ceiling like this one, and that's what that is. Voice leading, that's why it's called voices. Okay, this is a pretty much more like this is a replica. I used to make a lot of replicas. It was how I kind of learned a lot about making guitars. By copying, the great old masters, and while doing it, I would copy stuff that even didn't make sense to me. I really just would trust the process and do it even when it didn't make sense. And you'd have to copy things like 10 times before you started getting the feel of what was going on, before you could start getting the kind of the genetic feel or the family of what you were copying. But this, as a Torres, I had an 1856 Torres for a while that was really, a kind of a spiritual relationship. I played it in a few concerts, not too much, but it was really just such a pleasure to be around and to know. And then this guitar was basically derived from that. The rosette is not from that guitar, but all of the shape and the way that it's built inside and the materials in general were from that instrument or inspired by it. It's long gone now. I don't know where it is, but it's all right. I like this guitar. It's good. I can afford this one. So I made a couple of different Torres models, but I really transferred that intellectual property, if you want to call it that. It was Torres's intellectual property, but I just sort of moved it along. And then developed it for the Cordoba line, building their master series. That was something, because I was transitioning, I didn't want to make copies anymore. I still don't want to make copies except this. Torres had just an influence that was so fundamental. Just being around those guitars, it affected me, and obviously it affected the whole world of classical guitar and building and all the builders and stuff. I don't think he even realized or cared that that's what he was doing, was changing the whole paradigm of guitar making. But, so it's a pleasure to copy it, and there's something funny. I could make something a little bit different shape, almost everything the same, wouldn't be as good. I don't know why. If you can nail as much Torres as possible in an instrument, it's going to be better than if you kind of skirt around or just fool around with the ideas. So anyway, I love this.